It is kind of quiet around me just now. But I am very happy to have this helper, and he have been here for maybe 6 times. Um, I live in Sweden, and my city is the name of my city is Helsingborg, and I can see over to Denmark. It's a sea between Denmark and Sweden, and I'm so close to the Danish side. It's in the very south of Sweden, and on the west coast. I don't know. You know that I don't know the date, but it is close to Easter 2023. I think it's maybe 7 April 2023. And I got some result from the DNA today that I wanted to tell you about. And I saw it was some ancestors I not so far away in generations, is maybe 150 years, like that, in generation. And it was in Kenya, and it was on my father's side. And I've been not surprised that I found that today, because when I was homeless in the United States in about 2002, I could rent a room from an African American woman. I had a room I rent for 1 month, and in that house, and she was selling homemade whiskey, but I was not drinking at all, because I had no money to buy a homemade whiskey for. And but I was sitting in the kitchen, and there was some men that coming in, and they were African American men that was sitting and drinking beer and homemade whiskey. And it's so bad, because that woman that rent out the room, she was in the church, and I come to know her because we were singing both in the choir, the church choir, and it was a black baptized church I was in, as the only white person, and I was singing there. And so it was so sad, but because she was in the church, and in the same time in the evening she was selling homemade whiskey and other things. And when I couldn't pay for the room, she let me stay in her house, but I couldn't have any bed or room to sleep in. So I was sleeping on her floor. It was carpet on the floor, so I was allowed to sleep on the carpet, but not with any pillows. But I had my bag, so I could have it like a pillow of the clothes. But one of these men that was coming in the evenings and sit there drinking whiskey, I told him, because he was dark skinned, almost black skinned man, but he had blue eyes, and it was very strange for me. And I said to him, "You look exactly like my father." And they were laughing about me telling, because I was white, my skin was white, and I was saying that he looked exactly like my father. But now, today, that I saw that I have in my father's line African people. And so if we have dig deeper in his blue eyes, the man in United States, maybe we were related. And then today I was thinking that I have a property in Kenya, and once again was it this thing that those ancestors, those in the afterlife, they want me to see where they have lived. And I didn't know, because I was not going to Kenya because of what the people say to me. It was something I recognize from heaven, that I should travel to Kenya, and I didn't have the money. I never had the money to travel, but it was so very strong, this message from heaven, that I should take a flight to Kenya. And in the same time as I have just coming back from being homeless in United States for 3.5 years, I have trouble with my teeth. I have destroyed them when I was homeless, and once I eat this corn from popcorn things that is popular in United States, to eat those corn, not like popcorn, but the kernel, the corn of this, and I bite in it and didn't know that it was so very hard to bite in them. So I knew this with popcorn, that they were like stones to bite, and I thought they can't buy those things to eat as it is, as it like stones to eat. So it must be softer, I was thinking. But I bite in one that was like stone, and I broke the tooth, and I didn't have any money to go to the dentist, so I have to have this tooth that was big, and it was half only, and then I had other things with my teeth that make them looking bad. So I asked for a foundation, to get the money from a foundation here in Sweden when I come back to Sweden from United States, and I asked for to do my teeth, and the Swedish dentist have told them how much it should cost to make the teeth fixed, and it was very much money I got to fix my teeth. But instead to fix my teeth, I bought a flight ticket to Kenya, and so I took the flight and was in Kenya, and then the man that owned a property outside Kitale in Kenya, he wanted me to come back, and told me that I could get a property from him. He have a big property, and he could give me a part of that property. So we make those paper, because I told him that here in Sweden we don't do business by shaking hand. It needs to be paper for it to be so I can accept it. I didn't need to pay any money for it, and so they called for a man from the city, Kitale city, to come, and he was a real man that I saw. He was not a fake man. He had this Commodore radio, shortwave radio on him, and he had all this paper, the true paper, and he wanted the names of the other also to witness that the man had given me the property. And the man that gave me the property, he have run away from Uganda. He told me that he had been in the military with Idi Amin. You that is young, you don't know who he is. But he was a dictator, and hanging up dead body in trees in Uganda. And this man, he was in the same age as me, and he had run away from Uganda and came to Kenya and make some money and had a property there. And so he gave me that. But I am not sure that I will come back there. But that's interesting, because I got this today, the DNA that I belong to Kenya, in my DNA. And then in the same time I have a property in Kenya. I could have in other countries in Africa a property. It could have been in Rwanda, Ghana, or Nigeria, but I had the property in Kenya, and that make more this that I understand that they in the afterlife they working, they are alive, and they make us not everyone, but those people that they have already chosen to be born here on earth in this time, and let them come and see where they have been and what they have done. And so I am one of these people that they have sent here down to earth for me to walk where they have walked here on earth. So it makes me more understand this morning when I got this result from my father's DNA, that he is a little African in him, and it was not someone from my mother's side, and so it fit very well, because my father also, how he looked like, and then he was always dark in his skin. He was never white in his skin. He was dark in his skin. And I get some of it, because it's rarely if I be red in my skin. It's very few time I have been burned in my skin when I have been out in the sunshine. I know that you that have this African skin, that you can be burned of the sun. So it is not that because you have black skin or brown skin that you can be in the sunshine for many hours. You also have to go take some sun cream on you, or be in the shadow. So that I have come to know with be together. I have been engaged with a black man. I have been together with a black man, and they have told me that they also can be burned in their skin. So it's not only for the white people, this. I sounded like it was positive. I didn't mean to say it was positive. It's negative to be burned in the skin. So I can be in the sunshine, and then I feel it's burning in my skin, but I very, very seldom be red in my skin. I go immediately into brown color. But as I have inflammation in my joint inside my body, can't I be so much in the sunshine, because it's be pain in my joint instead. so I prefer to sit most in the shadow when it's summer and the sunshine outside. But now this spring it have not been a warm weather. It's more cold than ever. Not cold as ever because we have this time of ice here in the north. I didn't mean to say that. I mean that it's many years since we have this cold spring, and it fit into so much of this what's going on in 2023 that heaven have told me, those spirits that have coming here and am in my home, they have told me that 2023 will be a peak. It will be the worst year anyone have that live today, anyone that lived here today, that you have been into. This gonna be the worst year, and it start to build up. I'm not a political person, but I watch the news, and I watch the European news, and I watch Al Jazeera. It's a Palestine news. So I see what's going on in Israel, and it start to build up something very, very, very angry thing. Today it was the Israel police have been going in and into this this mosque that is at this this mountain that I was to the last day. The last thing I did in Israel when I was there in December 2022 was to go to the Temple Mountain, to this mosque that is the most holy in Jerusalem. But I was not there to enter into the mosque. I didn't do that. I was the mission was to go to the where the bridge have been from the Mount of Olives and to the Temple Mountain. It have been a bridge between there, just over the valley, David's, the city of David. There over in the sky have it been a bridge, and it have been between the Mount of Olive and the Temple Mountain. And so I was there to end my walking into to be educated from heaven. That was my last thing I should do, and now 2023 am I free from this learning traveling I have done for 22 years. I started in December 18, 2000, and I ended now in December 18 in the Temple Mount where the mosque is. and the mosque is the symbolic for Israel. From the mosque is a symbol for Jerusalem, and that's why God in heaven told me that I should end at that mount, but be where the bridge was built once, but now it's destroyed because they didn't want a connection between those mountains. So that's what I was doing. It was not that I should not do any Christian thing. It was not that I should do any Muslim things. When the last time I was in Israel, it was winter, the fourth time I was in Israel, and it was the end. The winter season means the end of the year, the end of my traveling, the end of my education under heaven. And so that what I wanted to tell you about this with my father, that he really come from Africa, but not him himself. If you see the picture, I don't know if I have that picture of my father together with his mother, and his brother look very Jewish, but not my father. He doesn't look like his younger brother. My father look more like from Africa, and his brother was look like coming from Israel. So they were different, but it's the same with my brother and me, because he is almost blonde and have blue eyes, and I have this dark hair with green eyes. So we are not alike at all, even if we have the same parents. So it can be like that when it is a mix of everything in us. I have also this I have relatives, ancestors that is coming from Maya Indians. I have lots of them in my, but I don't know if it's from my mother or my father. It's coming from. I saw it first when I got the result from the first DNA test I did. Then I saw it was lots of Maya Indians coming from this South America, many of them. And but then one morning when I was very sleepy, I opened up my family tree, and I destroyed it. So I have to start over. So those things I was working with first in the beginning was this with Maya Indians and South America. But now in this DNA test, I get not those results anymore. But it's when I work with a family tree, it's showing up. It's coming up sometimes. And I know that's right because I remember from the first tree I had and work with those names. So I know this is right. It's from the old time, the deep, deep tree I had once. I remember those names. So it's different today, but I will build it once again. Those. So it is. I want to talk a little about my helper also. That he have done maybe a part of my home, cleaning up and change where things should be in my home, because I can't stand on a ladder or a step stool. I can't walk up on it, and so he go up and change in the cabins I have in the kitchen, and then he going to do that in other rooms also, and he is going to connect my Wi-Fi again. I took it away because the Wi-Fi I broke it because my neighbors was going in and hack on that new what is called switch, those for Wi-Fi. They go in and hack. So the old I have the old I had first. I have it here, and so I can see it. And my helper is going to set it up again. And I'm glad to not need to do it on my own because of this with the brain. It have hard to focus on those things. It's more the damage I have in my brain. It doesn't touch this with the podcast at all. I remember more than before things that have happened in my life, and so it's good. It's other things that my brain can't take anymore. It's worldly things. It's amazing to come to know that is the spirit, what the brain needs when it comes to spirit things, that have it kept. But those things that have with the world, the worldly things to do, there is crack in my memories. It's like it have sorted out in my brain, so they want me only to work with the spirit things and not with the worldly things. And so those worldly things, that I can pay my helper for to do those things, so I can more concentrate me on the spirit things. But it is a little scaring that it's going away, so the spirit world goes stronger and stronger, and then it's like it's prepared for me to go into the spirit world, definitely. So I don't go coming back to the world anymore, and I don't know what it will happen. I know this kind of future things that I don't know, but I know things that will happen. And that's what I'm talking about now, that they have pushed away the worldly things for inside my brain. And I be like a little like frustrated over to think worldly things. But I love to have this spirit going on. But I have told you and told heaven that they should not let the spirit things take over total. I need to be here in this world still. So they should not steal me from the world. And as much as I can do to hold me into the world and not let it go for the spirit world. It can be 90% the spirit world, but 10% need to be here on earth. So I don't know what will happen, but I say what I feel, that I feel it inside me, like the spirit world is taking over me. But I need to be a little here on earth also, so I had not lost the connection with the world. But I let my helper doing things for me that like I'm not interested of it. I say that to you in that way. I'm not interested, but it's more like it's too heavy for me to think those things that is here on earth. So I pay to get help. And it's very nice to have this helper coming to my home, and I'm okay to only have him coming here and help me, because those other things that is that a man and a woman could do things in the bed, that I can do on my own. I don't need a man for that. I enjoy what I'm doing on my own. So I only need a man to come here and help me like my helper do. And we talk, we have fun. It was nice to find out that he could make jokes, laughing together with him. And this week have he been out in the garden, in Jesus' garden, and he have cleaning up, and I needed to have more soil for my plants. You know that when having plants and bushes, they eat up the soil. So every spring I need to have more soil on it, and it's very heavy work. So my helper do these heavy works, so I don't need to do that with this bad high blood pressure I have. I have not got medicine enough that slow down my blood pressure, so I have to rest and let him do these heavy things. But it costs money, so I could pay more to him to do more things for me. And one thing that I can't afford is to let him go with me with the taxi and go to another place so we can have a walk around. I wanted to come to those castles that is around in this area to see where my ancestors have lived, because they have lived in all these castles that is around here. Is very much castle in this county, and so, but that I can't pay him for to do. So some castle have, so I can go in to the castle and have be disabled, but some castle is it stairs to go in, so I can't go in there and see where my ancestors have lived. These things I can't do. The most important just now is that he helped me to clean up, so I have it disturb my brain to have many things around me. We have thrown away very much things, and he is saying that to me. Are you going to throw that away? You can sell it to other people and get money for it. And I have told him that I am not going to do that, because it have been evil people that have coming into my home and have harmed me and threatened me. So I prefer to throw it away instead to have some evil people coming into my home. But now, because I have said that to him, and now suddenly those ads, those places where I can sell my belongings, they have now, so I can send those things that people want to buy. I can send them with a mail in a mail office, and I don't need to have any people coming to my home anymore. So suddenly it was like heaven heard it, and then they changed it. But I can't do that. I don't have so much expensive things, so I don't want to go to the office and send it and do this work to. And he don't know, my helper, he don't know that I have got those things from other people, and I have bought it very, very, very cheap, those things in in the second-hand places. And because I didn't have anything when I come in 2004 from United States, and I have to build up my home again, and I had no money. I got some money from the social service, and it was not much money. But I buy old things in the second-hand thrift stores. So they have not cost me so much. So I say that to my helper, that they have done the use of them. They have done what they should do for me. So I can throw them away now. And but of course we don't throw it so it breaks. We place them in a store, in a room for trash, but we don't throw them so they break. We only place them there so people can, if they want them, they take them. So I don't throw them away so they breaks. I'm careful for that. Sometimes I'm thinking like, oh, I should not. I am not going to have those porcelain and glass anymore, so I can throw them away. But then I'm thinking that maybe some other people like them and take them home, and that's good. That's how I am. So this is what have happened now. So we are. My helper is going to help me more in the garden. I have bushes in big pots, and he is going to dig them down in the ground, so I don't need to have them in pots anymore. So, but it's too cold to work outside. That is very sad. It was different last year. Then it was bumblebees flying around here in the garden, but nothing. Now it have not. Maybe 1 month to 1 month late is the spring. So it's sad because it's so short summer here in Sweden. So I hope I could fly to a warmer country in winter to cut off this winter. It's too long winter here in Sweden. So thank you for listening. I start to be very tired. And we see. You know that if you are waiting for spirits to come and talk, I have told them that I need to rest a little my brain, so they should not come and talk so much. But it's last time it was spirits that was very disturbing and couldn't wait for me to rest, so they come and talk, and it was how they wanted to be, more than me wanted to have some sort of control over what's happened. But now it's quite. I'm not going to bring here any spirits. I can do that if I want it, but I want to rest the brain a little, maybe 2 or 3 weeks more. So thank you for listening, and you have many of my many chapters, many parts to listen at my podcast. So thank you, and God bless you.